How is everyone? Quick video. This one is counselling and OCD personality disorder, so obsessive compulsive personality disorder, and how would I work with it in my practice? What kind of style would I use, I guess? So first of all, my last video was about obsessive compulsive disorder, so the obsessive thoughts and the compulsive behaviour. So I had to look into the personality disorder just to see a little bit more about what the difference is. So what I uncovered was it seems like a more extreme form of the OCD. So what's the difference in the OCD and the OCD personality disorder? That's what I had to uncover, and what I've got here in front of us, it just says that the personality disorder part of it just focuses on more of a pattern of behaviours and thought processes related to rules, lists, schedules and perfectionism. So yeah, for me it just sounds like a more extreme, excessive level to the OCD. So maybe these two get confused, I don't know. So would I work with it the same as I work with the OCD? More than likely. And how I work with it is I want to look into past, because I believe that these things come from somewhere. You know, we're not born like OCD. You know, there's certain events that trigger them, and usually it's unfortunately trauma and the feeling of powerlessness or something being out of our control, and then the mind creates this mechanism to over control. Or there's been like an element of feeling unsafe, so the mind creates these mechanisms to feel safe, and they start spiraling and getting out of control because we feed them by doing the behaviour. Say it's the switching off the light switch so many times, and then we need to do it more, and we need to some people might even like increase the number to get the same feeling of security. So yeah, I would probably work with it in the same way as my last video around working with the OCD, around looking into past, what could have created it, what experiences may have led to this mechanism feeling needed, and then spilling out into other areas. How is it showing up? You know, is it the cleaning? Is it the obsessive thoughts? Is it the repetition? So how is it coming forward? How is it showing up? First of all, that should have been the first thing, sorry. Then we're looking into the past to make the links to what could have created it. So if we can dismantle or heal some of the stuff that we have went through, the behaviour can dissolve from the inner work. Sometimes we need that, and then sometimes we need the practical things on the outside. So at the light switch example, we need some tips, you know, for right, we're going to try and reduce that number that you're doing it, so we stop feeding the need to do it, because it's a vicious cycle. The more we do it, the more we need to do it, the more importance we put on it. If it's, you know, the cleaning, and cleaning, you know, sometimes doesn't have to be a bad thing, but if it's to a detriment, you know, let's say, and it's causing great distress when something is messed up, you know, we know it's out of balance, then we might need to sit with that urge and allow it to pass, allow it to do its thing, because urges are like waves, and they'll have a peak and then they'll come down. So different manageable techniques to the level that the person's at and ready to work with, whilst also doing the inner work. That's how I would work with it. And yeah, just trying to help somebody get to that freedom, because you don't feel free when you're in these spaces. You feel a prisoner to your mind. So we want to get your power back. We want to have somebody feel, you know, feeling like they're in charge again of their own mind and their own thoughts and what they do and how they feel. Just empowering people, you know, and that's what we're needing. So hopefully that made sense. As always, if anyone does have any questions, I'm under nataliecounselingservices.co.uk, and as always, peace, love and light, and thank you for watching.